my gosh. We were all on a high for the whole weekend after we did it. It was the right moment at the right time.
You know, he pushed so hard a couple times. He went beyond the limit, spun out, went into the gravel.
Joe didn't want to do it helter-skelter. We rehearsed it for 2 days, and then we shot it, and we got it right.
Very cool.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here.
Hi, Kerry. My name is Chris. I am a host of a show called Once and Always a Fanboy here in the Philippines. It's really a pleasure to speak to you today.
Great. Thanks for having me on the show.
So, actors fall down some wild research rabbit holes while prepping for a role. What's the most unexpected or oddly specific thing you Googled while preparing for this one?
Oh my gosh. Well, I did read a book by Adrian Newey, and it was called How to Build a Car. But interestingly enough, it actually was kind of an enjoyable book. It's quite a thick book, so initially I was a little bit, oh God, help me, this is going to be all physics and maths. But I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed reading about him and his backstory. So, and most of the prep work I enjoyed.
Rituals and superstitions are often about fear. Fear of losing, of the tech not working, of not being enough. What's one quiet fear your character carries that she never says out loud?
That Ruben made a mistake taking her from Lockheed and bringing her to Formula One. Maybe she wasn't as good as he thought she was at building a car. At the beginning of the movie, when they've been losing for 2.5 seasons, I think that's kind of playing at the back of her mind, which I think is why she's a little defensive with Sonny.
This film had to function like a pit crew, tight, precise, and no room for delay. What's your favorite "we nailed it" moment in this film?
Oh, there's a lot of them, but in the movie when our team scored their first point, they're racing in Hungary, and it's Park Fermé when all the cars come in at the end of a race and they're checked to make sure that none of the teams have cheated. And in real life, we shot it with the real teams coming back. So the drivers getting out of the car, or the real drivers in real time getting out of the car, walking past us. And we were told as a crew and cast to not touch the cars, that if any of us touched a car, that team would be disqualified. So there was a lot of pressure on everybody, and particularly the camera crew, because they had to capture Brad and Damson coming out of the cars and walk backwards through all the Formula One cars and keep them in frame and in focus. And we only had 5 minutes to shoot this scene, and we only had 2 takes. And it was amazing. We all did it. We were all nervous at the beginning. We all said good luck to each other. And then when we did it, it was just a big bonding moment for everyone. We were all on a high for the whole weekend after we did it. And it was also a great moment in the movie to evoke like this really joyful feeling.
So I've heard actors say that life prepares you for your next role, but some characters feel like they were quietly guiding you before you even read the script. Did this one feel like she was already living somewhere in you, or did she take you somewhere completely new instead?
No, I think this was kind of like a natural progression for me, and it felt like a natural progression. I had done a TV show quite a long time ago that Michael Mann directed, another iconic American filmmaker, and I played a jockey, and Michael sort of taught me how to prep a part when you're immersing yourself in a world that you don't really know anything about. So I learned a lot from Michael Mann, and I didn't know at the time, close to how many years later, 15 years later, that I was going to get another job where I had to immerse myself into a role. And I knew all these tricks that Michael had taught me. And then also I feel that the Oscar nomination sort of prepped me for working with Javier and Brad, because I felt very capable. I felt like I was, I had earned my place. So I think all those things kind of naturally it was the right moment at the right time.
So that's all for my time. Thank you so much. I had such a great time speaking with you.
Great, thanks very much.
Most directors get to block a scene on solid ground, but here your stage is a live racetrack. How do you choreograph intensity when your set is constantly moving at 200 miles per hour?
You have to embrace the chaos, accept the fact that you are in charge, but never in control. I wanted the film to have the feeling of being at these live events, So you have to embrace that energy and go with the flow and have a plan, but be prepared to change the plan, when the circumstances change. And that obviously happens a lot. It happens in normal filmmaking, but happens even more when you're trying to shoot in a live event. You've got weather, you've got changing schedules, you've got things that happen in the race itself that were unexpected. And I tried to incorporate those things into the movie to give it that same feeling.
Brad Pitt is literally in the car, pushing limits, surrounded by pros who do this for real. There must have been a moment where the line blurred. Was there a point where Brad's on-track performance made real F1 drivers go, wait, he might be one of us?
Brad really did impress the drivers. Certainly Lewis Hamilton, who was a producer on the film, was very surprised by Brad's natural ability in the car. Brad has ridden motorcycles his whole life. So I think had a good sense of the racing line and how to manage grip, which is important in these cars. Also, Brad just has that kind of racer mentality of wanting to push it harder and harder, really explore the limit of these cars, because he really wanted that to reflect on screen and wanted the audience to feel that. He pushed so hard a couple times, he went beyond the limit, spun out, went into the gravel. And luckily I had the cameras rolling and was able to put those moments into the movie.
Athletes use rituals to create control in an uncontrollable environment, just like Sonny with his cards. When you were directing F1, did you find any on-set rituals developing, especially like what you said during the shooting days around real races?
I have my own rituals of preparation that I do before a shoot day. I like to handwrite out my shot list the night before a shoot, going through every setup. Sometimes I do my own thumbnail storyboards just to kind of visualize the scenes. And I like to do that the night before I shoot, so that overnight it kind of plays in the back of your mind or in your dreams, and you wake up the next day ready to go.
F1 drivers live for the thrill of nailing a corner. What's your corner as a storyteller? The thing you love perfecting even if no one else notices?
As a director, you kind of live for those moments where you nail an emotional beat, and get a reaction from the audience that you can feel in the room. And I think we've got a few of those in this movie where you can really feel the crowd respond, whether it's a gasp or a cheer. Those are the moments I think you live for as a director, and spend a lot of time trying to nail down.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
So you've said before that the audience wants something they've never seen. What's something in F1 that even you had never seen before until now?
Well, there's so many camera angles on this car. Even if you're a big F1 fan and watch all the races, we did things that nobody else has ever done. When we made Top Gun, the cameras were a little bigger. They're now a third smaller. We created a camera that's remote controlled, so we can pan from Brad's face to a car passing him. That's unique. We had antennas all around these tracks to make sure we could get that. It's an immersive movie. If you're going to feel like you've been in the car in an F1 race after you walk out of the theater in this film.
This film had to function like a pit crew, tight, precise, and no room for delay. What's your favorite "we nailed it" moment in this film?
In the very beginning of the movie, we're on the track and Javier Bardem introduces Brad to one of the board members. That is shot in front of 140,000 people. We had 6 or 7 minutes to shoot it because the race started right after we finished that. So we had to jump off the track, and it was pretty exhausting to make sure we got it right. Joe didn't want to do it helter-skelter. We rehearsed it for 2 days, and then we shot it, and we got it right.
Very cool. So you've built a career out of controlled chaos. What's the real secret to using adrenaline as a storytelling tool instead of just letting it spin out? Do you ever feel like a race strategist yourself, pulling back at just the right time so the big moments land harder later?
Well, it's always about the story. It's always about the emotion, the theme, the plot, the characterizations. And what this is about a character who had an opportunity when he was young, blew it. We're all looking for second chances. He gets a second chance. Is he going to blow it again? Also, it's the excitement of the world that you're in. Racing is exciting. It's death-defying. It's all the things that we love when you go to races. But you don't have to ever been to a race or care about racing to really enjoy this movie. more people will enjoy it who've never seen an F1 race or never been to a race. It's a date night movie. It's fun. It's emotional. It's romantic, and it's funny. And it's got an amazing soundtrack with some of the best artists in the world: Ed Sheeran, Kate McRae, Doja Cat. It just goes on and on and on. The soundtrack is phenomenal. And Hans Zimmer, who's one of the greatest composers in the world, did the music.
F1 drivers live for the thrill of nailing a corner. What's your corner as a storyteller, the thing you love perfecting even if no one else notices?
I think watching an audience watch our movies and be moved by them, that's the fun. When they applaud, when they laugh, when they cry, when they have a good time and walk out, they had a great experience. This is a very experiential movie. It envelops you. It takes you on a ride. It makes you feel things. And that's the kind of movies I loved to go to when I was a kid.
Very cool. So thank you so much for your time. This was such an honor for me.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. Take care.